Excuse me.
Boy, I'm gonna let's knock out this pizza review first, but
And then I got something for you guys.
and then I got one too. Have I got one.
Oh,
And it has nothing to do with our normal topics of cars, guns. We just kind of span out of control anyway. But anyway, SmashCastBros, keep it local, keep it cash. Tell the feds to kiss your ass. I'm Ty.
Boo.
I'm Trigger.
Oh, come on. Of all people.
Who we got over there?
Professor's here today.
Professor's with us. Subscribe, smash the like,
Comment,
share, do all that. Right? We need
Tell
that
your
stuff.
buddies, tell your friends, tell your enemies, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just
If you
tell
don't
people
like
about
it, tell us we're pieces
Correct.
of shit.
Hey, can you guys listen to the podcast, like and subscribe? Thanks.
Yeah.
I've told my friends.
Yeah. I better text him, see what's going on. Anyway.
Oh, he's got a lot going on. You might have to step away for that.
Well,
All right. So,
pizza review first.
Tickles. Pizza. We got pizza from Wagon Wheel
In
Bowling
Portland.
Alley in Portland.
Tell you what, that place is freaking packed right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a freaking
It's
parking
a
spot.
Saturday in a small town.
Holy shit! It was freaking. They asked me, seat for one. I'm like, no, I'm here for pickup. I don't want to freaking deal with this rat race.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, yeah.
It's a place that has an activity, bowling, in a small town.
But
I would struggle to call this winter, but
Okay.
the restaurant side of it was packed. There was not any seating available.
We went over there.
Or anything.
We booze cruised over in the side-by-sides one night, and we had a hell of a time getting a spot.
Finally, I found the 2 parking spots for takeout, so I could walk in and get the pizza. But I was literally thinking about parking in a freaking handicap spot just to walk in because I didn't want to have to walk a quarter freaking mile to get there.
Greg's brother. There's a picture of Greg's brother right next to the pizza oven. It's pretty cool.
But back to the review.
Yeah.
Okay, we got what? 16-inch ham pepperoni.
12-inch,
12-inch pizza.
Okay.
12-inch.
Okay, sorry. 12-inch.
Dude, if you can't tell the difference between 12 and 16, you got a problem.
I didn't pay that much attention.
I'm pretty glad he doesn't know exactly how long it was.
Anyway, pepperoni, ham, and bacon pizza.
What did we give Oliveira's, a 7? Yeah, we gave Oliveira's I gave Oliveira's a 7.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd have to say this rate's higher than Oliveira's.
I
Oh, yes.
agree. I agree.
I like Oliveira's, but this was better.
They're
Again-
done. Wagon Wheel's dough, everything. The ingredients. Dude, I can't. I'm having a hard time finding either. And I wasn't like starving where it could have been
Little
garbage.
Caesars, and you'd be all for it.
I wasn't even starving, and that was pretty amazing. Again, we're going to set the bar really high with this one, I feel. And we're going to be the next one, whether it's Pizza Hut or whatever.
We need a whiteboard. You know, Top Gear
We
had
can-
the,
we
the
can.
speed laps.
I will find one. I'll make one, whatever. I'll get just a poster.
Anyway, I'm going to say, they had what? 3-inch diameter pepperoni on this versus the 1.25
2-inch,
pepperoni or whatever it is on normal pizza places. Ham was a little bit smaller piece. Ham wasn't as chewy on this one as it was the last one.
This is good.
Sauce was good. Mozzarella had good taste on it.
I liked it.
I actually ate the crust on this one.
On this one, a lot of the pieces, the sauce and cheese had gone onto where the crust normally is.
You turn that heat off. I don't know if we're going to need it or turn that fan off.
So, I think the crust was actually better because it had sauce on it. And it wasn't just straight bread.
I can agree.
I like the
had a
straight
couple-
bread.
I had a couple pieces that didn't have sauce all the way back
was
to the last
okay.
3/4 inch. But the crust was still done. It was still soft. It wasn't hard, real chewy.
Professor, you weren't here for Oliveira's.
I was not, but that was a good pizza from Wagon Wheel. I do prefer a bread and burnt cheese crust.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. It
Almost
was good pizza.
almost a fried cheese.
Yep.
Yeah. Should I take a note on what did we say Oliver's was?
I think we gave it between 7 and 7.5.
Are we going to keep track of
We'll call
each?
it 7.5.
Oliver's got 7.5.
I think is where we settled 7.5.
I think that's
Okay.
where we set it.
Obviously, being the first one, you got to figure out a place.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
Oliveras
we'll have
compared to everything else we had tested up to that was number one.
And maybe we'll have to eat Oliveras again because, normal contest, number one goes back again just to
Kind of like
Make
mud
sure.
run or anything else. Yeah.
Make
truck
sure,
tractor pulling that shit.
Make sure it holds up.
And maybe we re-rate it. Maybe it falls lower. Maybe it falls higher.
Yeah. All right. I'll write it down as a 7.5 overall.
Now, as for Wagon Wheel, I mean,
Let's not go overboard. 8.
it's a little bit further to drive than Oliveras. I mean, to be honest, it's
And
about
they don't deliver.
it's about middle for me.
Right.
To get Wagon Wheel from my house to Oliveras from my house, they're about equal. But I really enjoyed it. I would give it 8, maybe a little bit higher.
I'm gonna
I'd
go
say
8.5. You're going 8.
Professor.
I'd go 8 as well.
8. All right. We'll just go overall 8. All right. I'm gonna try to remember where that list is.
Fold the bottom corner of the paper over where it's at. So
It's pretty deep
in.
in this pile.
All right, so
Done with that.
I did some research this week
Okay.
about corn and ethanol.
Okay.
So on average, farmers produce, I put a typo, plants about 90 million acres of corn annually.
That's it.
Corn, just corn. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's corn. Totally.
That seems rather low, but okay. I'm
That's the numbers I could find online
not okay.
without spending an hour looking at numbers because
That gets boring.
I
And,
have a life.
Yeah.
Not much. 36 to 51 million acres of that is used for ethanol. The USDA says 36 million. Bloomberg, which is not exactly a pro-farmer organization, says 51 million and a half million acres. USDA says 36, so we'll use those numbers at the start. So 2.8 to 3.2 bushels of corn is used to make a gallon of fuel. There's 173 bushels of corn in an acre. So 61.8 to 54.
Say that's average.
So 61 to 54 to 61 gallons of ethanol are generated per acre. So that's 1.9 to 2.2 billion gallons of ethanol per year the U.S. produces. Bloomberg's numbers are obviously higher. Ethanol is about 10% of pump gas and unleaded. We all know that.
Okay.
Which U.S. uses, so 19.4 billion to 22.2 billion gallons of fuel per year with ethanol. But the U.S. uses 135 billions of gallons of gas per year. So where's the discrepancy there? We're an order of magnitude off using those numbers. But then that took me down a rabbit hole about gas tax.
Oh, jeez.
So the federal gas tax is 18 cents a gallon, and the state gas tax averages at 32 cents a gallon.
Unless you're in Michigan, then it's like
So there's 50 cents a gallon as
gallon.
tax.
Basically, yeah.
You remember when we were
So-
you remember when we were kids and gas was like $1 forever and ever and ever and ever
I
and
was
ever.
saying, high school, when I was getting gas in my pickup truck, it was 96 cents a gallon in high school. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was stupid high then.
I didn't think it was
Buck
high.
and a quarter, something like that.
I didn't think it was high.
No.
Now today I just paid $4 a gallon for freaking diesel in my little car.
It's $3.45 or $3.49 a gallon right here
For
locally
gas.
for gas.
Diesel fuel, I don't even know
It's
what it
about
is.
$4 a gallon.
I was
Four
gonna say, I
at
think I
Meyer,
seen $3.99
$4.05
the other
at-
day.
If you go to a truck stop, it's $5 a gallon, even if you use a car pump.
Well, depends on how close you are to the highway. The closer you are to the highway, the more the higher the price. So
So gas tax federally on just gasoline. This is not even diesel. It pulls $66.6 million a year just for the federal government. And average gas tax for states pulls $118.4 million a year.
tell me why they're pushing for electric vehicles so much?
So
If they're
can
making
limit-
so much money.
Well, how much money are they making off of power companies?
I wonder if it's not, let's push these EVs super hard so we can get the lobbyists to come back at us with a shitload of money from the gas corporations. Maybe? No?
So you're thinking that politicians are trying to take money?
No.
Well, actually,
It's genius, really. Let's make everything EV. Let's
Fight
make
against
everything
each other.
EV,
make
and then
the
let's
electric
take.
companies fight against
Take-
petroleum companies fight against the electric companies.
well, take another step back. A lot of electric generation companies, like Consumers, Board of Water and Light, are moving away from coal, and they're moving to natural gas, which is taxed out the ass.
Yeah.
So they're getting money. There ain't no getting away. They're getting money.
You remember it wasn't long ago we talked about Dollar telling us put nuclear power plants right down the middle of America. You only need about 6 of them, and it would power everything, right?
Well, I'd actually say go smaller and a lot more. Well, you remember that 2-week outage, a decade ago, where the entire East Coast shut down for 2 weeks?
Oh, that was more than a decade ago. That was 04,
So 2 decades ago,
03, 04.
when the entire grid on the eastern seaboard shut down for
Actually,
like
don't
2
remember
weeks
that.
straight.
It was all of America.
I thought it was just the east.
No, it was all over America.
It shut down. Basically, one part got overloaded, and the whole thing cascaded into failure. And
And
it
it
took
was-
everything down. It took a long time because you need power to get a power plant started. But if you do a bunch of smaller nuclear power plants,
If something happens to
if
3
something
of them,
shuts down one
the
of
other
them,
6 will take it or whatever in that area.
And this is something I brought up when we did Moody's birthday down to his house back here October, right?
September, yeah.
Okay. How many nuclear reactors sit dormant right now, not being used?
That's a good question.
There is 8 in the USS Ronald Reagan sitting. There's 8 nuclear reactors in the USS
Well,
Ronald Reagan.
they're not dormant. They're still running. They're just not.
Oh, okay.
They're not being pulled on like they normally would.
But
They could
why can't
probably
we take
power a
those
whole
out?
town
And-
just
and
sitting
exactly.
at bay.
Well, a lot of Navy ships are set up with shore power ability, so they can pull up to a pier, run some heavy copper cable,
yeah.
and plug in and power part of a city with how much power they
Yeah,
can
but
generate.
then you got all the gas burner people that are going to go cut the cords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, no.
Sorry.
Even though intelligent people know that's just a crackhead stealing copper.
But again,
Oh,
how many declassed military?
Nimitz class carriers.
Yeah, and not even that. The nuclear powered subs, freaking destroyers, any of that have been declassed that sit at dry docks, sit wet dock, that are not doing anything. Why the hell can't we use the nuclear power off of them freaking things? Why can't we use the nuclear power plants off of those to help
Power stuff.
help freaking some of these damn and
I get
as much as I
okay.
dislike it, the freaking electric charging stations.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I
But
guess that's my rant.
nuclear power would be one of those things where it would make electricity more affordable. Ty still wouldn't have air conditioning in the summer, but the rest of us could live a little easier on the grid.
And the price of electricity itself might drop. However, I don't think it's the price of electricity that costs the money. I think it's the support. It's the support, maintenance teams and stuff like that. Their health insurance, their pay, their bonuses, their
Well, line workers, gas crew. I know for a fact, line workers and gas crew for Consumers Energy make between $50 and $75 an hour. Gas line welders for Consumers Energy make $130 an hour. Weld
But
gas line.
damn sucker.
But that's just the normal workers. You got to realize they pay out the behind for emergency crews to come from out of state and stand by when they expect heavy weather.
Yeah.
They pay heavily. Really? That's that Vaseline kicking back.
It smells more like Astro Glide.
So we're going to turn that around.
Holy hell.
Oh, dude.
That sounds like
my
it's gonna. That sounds like it's gonna itch when it dries.
That is so bad. Oh my god! Like I've been waiting for that one because my guts have been hurting. Oh, that was fucking.
Our fucking nostrils are gonna be hurting. Holy hell, buddy! You need to go have that freaking shit checked.
But a lot of anti-nuclear people like to cite 3 Mile Island, Fukushima,
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Well, first of all, you trusted the Soviets. To
How many
do
people
something
died in
correctly.
all these?
A lot of people died in
Chernobyl's
Chernobyl
bad.
because, well, the Soviets. That was your first mistake. Second mistake, they panicked. Panic leads to issues.
Mm-hmm.
3 Mile Island, I don't think anybody directly died from the accident. It was the mad dash to get away from it.
Chernobyl was also a lack of knowledge.
Well, no, they skipped a lot of safety checks to hurry up and do a test.
Yep.
Have you ever
Which
seen
is
anything that the Russians
Soviets.
do, like on Instagram, Facebook, or any kind of video, social media? It's like Jackass in a foreign language.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? They're going to jump off a
Johnny
building.
Knoxville speaking Russian.
Yeah.
But
Hold my-
Steve-O.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Then-
Fucking throwing the switch.
Fukushima, I think, was designed from the 60s
Dude, I
or
stink.
something like that. But it wasn't designed for what it got hit with, because it got hit with a tsunami and an earthquake. It's designed for one or the other, not both at the same time. But nobody died from it. They died from panic. I think one person died from panic. That's it.
But now
See,
look at
that's-
Chernobyl. Chernobyl can't be used for 200,000 years now. It's a 200-mile radius or something
Yeah,
for Chernobyl. And,
because of the fallout.
yep. And they said there's freaking the cooling ponds and everything have freaking 8-10 foot freaking catfish in them. And the deer
What?
are monstrous. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing there that
There's no...
no one can get in. You can check in, go visit, and you get out. So there's no one hunting
Well,
anything.
Are you going to eat
there's
a
no-
cat? You don't eat catfish, but would you eat, I don't know, a fucking hot dog from inside the Chernobyl exclusion
Dude.
zone?
Can you imagine
if
what
it's
their
long and
alligators
round,
would
he will
look
stick
like?
it in his mouth, buddy. If
Their
it's long-
alligators would look like this pole barn.
But again, they only have natural predators. Well, if you're 8 or 9 feet freaking long, what's your natural predator?
Yeah.
HBO did a good mini-series on Chernobyl. It's screwed up. So firefighters show up. They're just walking right up to the exposed reactor, shooting water on it.
So
Then
pure
they go to the
Soviet.
hospital. All of their uniforms are still in the basement of the hospital, untouched. Extremely radioactive still.
There's they dug a tunnel underneath the reactor to help try and cool it or whatever. Well, they went to this mine, this coal mine, and got miners to mine under it. And they had no protective clothing to mine under this reactor.
Again, it's Russia, or that region.
Yes.
USSR.
Siberia.
Dude, they don't.
They don't care about safety. They don't care about.
They were caring
They
about
don't have
fixing their
OSHA.
screw up that
And
shouldn't have
keeping-
happened.
Keeping it quiet.
Well, I mean, look at all the cover-ups we got just here,
That
and
sounds like the government.
But then you look at 3 Mile Island in the U.S. Everyone knows about it. No one really died. Fukushima in Japan. Everyone knows about it. No one really died from it.
right.
Not the reactor, but
Not the reactor, but the panic and the trying to run away and flee.
tsunami, earthquake.
Well, there was a lot of stuff going on at the time. But to be hit with all of that and nobody directly died from a meltdown
Right.
sounds pretty safe. Nobody wants a meltdown, but think of all the power, especially in the middle of the country, you could have. How California, probably don't give it to them because earthquakes. Can we just nuke the San Andreas Fault, shear off the bad part of California, and then we can give them.
So California, got it.
By all means.
There's
By
part
all
of it
means.
stays.
But now, the way I see it was nuclear reactors, all that. Chernobyl. I know that happened, 70,
80 years ago, I think. In
No.
the 60s.
No.
No,
It was like 78,
It
79.
was late 70s, early 80s.
I was going to say,
No, I think it was 86.
okay, that might have
85
been.
or 86, I think it was.
But again,
That explains my sister.
do you want Homer Simpson running a nuclear power plant?
Dope.
Exactly. That's what he did in the friggin' Simpsons, ran a nuclear power plant.
That's what Chernobyl had.
Well, that's what Chernobyl. They had freaking Homer Simpson running a damn nuclear power plant.
Leaning back in a chair eating donuts.
Yep.
Watching gauges. Just kidding.
Seeing
again-
a flashing light, that looks fun.
But again, all these freaking people nowadays, we would have skinnier Homie Simpson running them.
Well,
We wouldn't even be able to freaking delegate if it's male or female.
hold on. Take a step back. The Navy trains a lot of people, a lot of sailors, to operate nuclear reactors. That is the perfect transition to move into nuclear reactor in the civilian world. Because
By
they're
all
already
means.
trained by the military, who uses it in a production environment day after day.
A
in
closed
tons of
environment.
ships.
Again, with the ships. I mean,
There's no backup.
We've said it before. Change the name. Nuclear sounds bad. I mean, nowadays with the
Fuzzy bunny
technology
magic.
and what we know about it, we could do it safely. Fuzzy bunny power, whatever.
Well,
And all of a sudden, all these people
fuzzy
that are
booby slipper flower.
I almost brought this out tonight.
well, okay. I'm no nuclear physicist or anything, but what if you buried the reactor partially underground?
It still wouldn't filter it, even if there was a breach.
Well, if there's a breach, it's not going to spread as easily above ground.
I wouldn't advertise it. The tree huggers will have you by the balls.
Yet they are perfectly fine with tearing up a field, turning it brown to generate green solar power.
What about all
I
these
don't want to fucking hear it.
nuclear missile silos from the 80s and 70s and 60s?
People are buying those and turning them into underground houses.
Exactly.
And then they have to pump out all the water because the government said, well, it's not our fucking problem anymore,
Right.
and just let them flood.
But
Not
again,
that the government would ever do something to screw the next guy.
Yeah.
why don't they use those nuclear missile silos as a nuclear reactor? Put a nuclear reactor in them, turn them in.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's the pumping the concrete down 150 feet. Gets a
Can't
little
foam.
costly.
Anyway, we got off subject. We were talking about gas and ethanol.
Yeah. Sorry, then it spun into tax and
Yeah.
went downhill from there.
Yeah, speaking of tax and nuclear, one and the same. Okay, what else you got?
No, those are just the annoying numbers I found about gas tax.
So last weekend I was supposed to take Amy shopping. Didn't happen. Friday night you guys let me get a little out of control, so Saturday I couldn't leave the house.
No, we did not let you get out of control. You got yourself out of control.
Let's say, you're a grown ass man.
Dude, I Ralphed
We are
my
not-
guts out all day.
We are not your babysitter.
I'm like, okay, I feel really good. I think we can probably leave, which I didn't feel really good. I'm just trying to soften her up, you know. Okay, so I'm like, but you're gonna drive. I lay the seat all the way back in my car on the passenger side. She's driving. We get to the Meyer gas station. I'm like, nope. Turn around.
Hold
She
on.
comes home and I Ralph my guts out again.
You
But-
would have done that while sober, though. I've been in the vehicle while your wife drives. You
Yes.
would have done that sober.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So yesterday I picked her up from work, her work, because I didn't work Fridays.
Shocker.
I took a tie week.
He doesn't work any week.
Took a day off, did you? Yeah, good for you. Picked her up from work. We went to the mall first to
Which
check
one?
Rivertown.
The good one.
No,
No.
I bet it's about empty, isn't it?
dude, it's crazy. The best way for me to describe the Rivertown Crossings Mall is depressing. All the big box stores, Macy's, JCPenney.
Sears.
There's no Sears.
There used to be.
a long time ago.
What else is in there? Kohl's. Kohl's is in there.
Von Mauer is where the
Yonkers.
Sears used to be.
I don't think Yonkers is in there either. I didn't see it.
Last time I went there, there was a
it's
Sears there. That's how long it's been.
The Sears, I worked in GR when they were tearing that down to build the Von Mauer wing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh.
That was the Woodland Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was the Sears at Rivertown?
At the east end
East
of it.
End.
Yep.
It's all closed off.
And Probably.
it's just a shell now.
It is the best word to describe it is depressing. So you and all the big, like when we were, what, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you go into like the clothing area and you have to sidewalk shimmy between all the racks of clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all spread out. There's nothing.
You could drive a car in between the
Yeah.
racks.
Can we
And
drive
there's
a
nothing.
car?
So I seen one thing that I'm like, well, that's kind of hot on this mannequin. And it's the only one in the whole fucking store.
Yeah, special order. We could order it for you. We could order it for you.
Dude,
We
I
could
don't
order
get it.
for you.
It
And she's got
costs too much to have inventory on hand because you get taxed for inventory on hand.
I don't understand it. It's well, Kohl's actually had a lot of shit, but it's really awful.
They want to go to less in person, more social distancing. Buy the stuff off the internet.
JCPenney, if you own JCPenney stock, dump it, because we walked around in there. As depressing as the actual lack of anything to sell, the clothes are awful. They're just horrendous. Like old lady clothes. She goes, who's going to, Amy grabbed one, she goes, who's going to wear this? And I'm like, dude, a 100-year-old woman?
We're in a store for 100-year-old women.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
It was depressing.
who goes to in-person shop anymore? Most people buy this shit off freaking offline.
Well, the issue I have is sizing charts vary brand to brand.
Dude, the only
I'll
place
give you
you
that.
can shop is freaking tall and fat.
Well, see, that's the issue. They assume if you're fat, you're not tall. They assume if you're tall, you're not fat.
Okay.
What do you do when you're tall and fat?
You buy sheets
Yeah.
and just wrap them up and say toga.
It was really awful. And then all the kiosks for the guys selling the pot hats and the watt gold shit.
Oh, in
and
the center.
They don't even try. They don't even look up.
They sit there and play on their phones.
You remember they go, hey, you want to look at why? Hey, you want to look at my hat or whatever? No, he's right. They just sit there. You walk by and you're like, I mean, I appreciate that because,
Stop talking to me.
yeah, some of them are like, they're relentless.
Oh, it
right?
used to be. It used to be like freaking
What-
Hey, man.
telemarketers.
Hey, man.
let me work on your eyebrows. No,
I had a
no,
Woodland Mall. Hey, can I shine your boots? Nope.
nope.
Not gonna touch my boots.
But it was the stores themselves,
so
the bigger
you're-
stores. So like Spencer's, that was par. That felt par. That was like right on line with
It was a Spencer's.
yeah. So you know the fuzzy dice in the car. I bought Gavin fuzzy tits. They're hanging in his car.
You still got to get the what is
Pepperoni size areolas.
it? You still got to get the what was it? The fire tit thing from South Park.
I don't remember that one.
The chicken with the massive tits for
Oh, the Firebird for the.
Oh,
Front.
that thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where to get it. We have to have them custom made or something. But
Did you ever show the professor?
Oh, I saw it. It was good.
I think he was here one day. We had it all.
yeah, but the regular stores. So the Zoomies wasn't bad, I guess, but nobody was in there.
Zoomies?
Yeah, it's like a skater shop.
Okay.
There was no Hot Topic. There was no.
The Zoomies
Packs
wouldn't get them
on
sweet
and-
Heelys.
I actually think that maybe the Woodland Mall has better stores because Woodland Mall has Vans. It's got Apple.
Well, Woodland
Yeah.
Mall also just had that big expansion, and Apple is a big draw for millennials and other not brained people. Yeah, I'm well aware.
Well,
You know why I stick
He's
with
got
it?
an Apple phone.
yeah.
You know why I stick with it? Because when I buy a new one, it'll automatically transfer all the data over, and I don't have to put effort into it. Laziness. I will be very open. I stick with Apple because I'm lazy.
But you go into not was it Macy's, I think it was. You go in there and they got all the makeup counters and all this shit. So the shelves are half empty. It was just I'm
Costs
telling
a lot
you,
of money to have that inventory.
the mall industry, after being in one yesterday, is dead. Then we went to Cabela's.
There was something here a while back that said malls, clothing store type stuff is on the out.
On the decline, on the out, on the.
They're declining
Oh, horrible.
very badly to where it's going to go a lot of online.
So I even put it in my phone. I'm like, I got to write this down before I forget because I can't believe how bad this is. And I put it in. The mall world is just straight depressing. I remember
Which is
when
sad.
it was banging and it was like, oh my God, I want to go to the mall.
Used to be a hangout spot for when my brother was a kid.
Yeah.
Go to the mall. Drop him off at the mall.
There goes the neighborhood. Probably an old lady across the road.
Yep, that
Yep,
looks like
it
an
was, too.
ambulance.
Just went
But
by.
again, growing up, you had, what is it, KB Toy Store?
Yep. There was a toy store in there. Not a soul in it.
Well, hold on. There's a Toys R Us on 28th Street. That's
There
a
was.
Spirit Halloween once in a while.
There's a GameStop in there that had maybe 3 or 4 people in it.
I'm surprised GameStop is still around.
The food court, half of the restaurants are closed. The theater, we walked over to the theater. She goes, I don't want to go see a movie, but I want to go see what's playing. So we went over there, and none of them are like blockbuster movies. But anyway, that was my intro story. What else you guys got? You got anything?
The Rivertown Mall, last time I was in there, it's been a long time. Looked like a pretty decent mall. That being said, I don't like going to malls. Too many people. COVID probably killed them off.
Maybe.
With everyone
The flu.
panicking and social distancing, it's really hard to fit that many people in when you're social distancing.
Well, there just happened to be a family fair right across the road from Rivertown Crossing Mall. Remember that? You gave me a gift card from one of the customers.
What?
I think it was
Family fair?
a family fair gift card that I got. They gave you the gift card and you brought it to me and said, this is probably yours because you're in there more. And you gave me the gift card. I actually bought a half gallon of Captain.
I don't remember.
And then we turned around and went back to Cabela's because I had a $50 gift card for that. But I got a review about something from Cabela's. We'll review it maybe in the next section. So I think we got enough stuff here to review over, or look at, and go over. Anyways, Cabela's was actually semi-busy.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The same problem they've always had at Cabela's was prevalent yesterday. Some guy was there for 2 hours to look at a fucking scope, and he was getting livid.
Hey, that's how you stay looking busy. Your service sucks.
Oh, they're horrible.
Hate them.
He was straight out of Britain or something. His whole family had that real deep British accent, and bloody this and bloody that, and I'm like,
Well, that could be Australian, too.
No.
Did he sound kind of like he's related to a prisoner? Because that'd be Australian.
Cabela's is I even told the guy, I'm like, I said, that's why I refuse to buy guns here. I will never, because you've had a problem. The neighbor over here had a major problem with it. He finally gave up after 2 hours of standing there. He goes, fuck this, I ain't got time for this.
That's why you tip them off about an FFL they can go to. Save money and much faster service.
I mean, I bought a gun from grabagun.com and had it sent to Smiley's.
I bought
You guys
stuff.
went with me. Somebody went with me.
I bought stuff on Gunbroker. Gunbroker? Whatever it was. Some gun website. And I had it shipped to Smiley so I could do the background check there. And I've had a lot of raffle guns shipped over to Smiley's.
Yeah, I bought a AR-15 lower from Cabela's. Get an email. It's ready to pick up. Go ahead and come to the gun counter. Drive into Cabela's. Go up to the gun counter. Stand there like a jackass. Finally, some guy goes, "You here for something?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up a lower." You got to go check in.
No, you called me.
So go to some kiosk. Little iPad on a stand.
Scan the barcode or the
Tablet.
QR code.
Punch your information in. You get a text instantly that says, "Hour and 45-minute wait." Pound sand. I'm not staying.
No.
I'm out. Went home. Went back the next day at open. In a snowstorm, by the way, to make sure I could be there.
Only person in the store.
You know
Hour
what
and
I
a
did?
half wait.
Not surprising.
Go shit.
Gotta
Walk.
make it look busy.
Walked straight into that kiosk. Punched in. Bing. You're up.
Nice. You want to be the first guy through the door.
Yep.
Sounds like, yeah.
But again, I sat in there when the one that I was dealing with for 2.5 hours, and everybody walked by me, and every time they kind of make eye contact, they kind of look the other way,
yeah.
and ignore me as they walk past. No, motherfuckers.
See, that's my biggest issue with them.
And it wasn't until I decided to hell with it, went up, leaned up against the counter, turned around, and jumped my fat ass on the fucking counter and sat there. Just like, can I help you? Yeah. This, and this. Well, we got to do this. Get your ass in gear. Get it done. Well, you have no, nope. I've been dealing with this for 38 freaking days. You get it done. You get it done now. I don't give two shits about the rest of these fuckers. I was freaking livid. And my son was with me, so I didn't teach him anything real nice.
Good.
But I was pissed. I was freaking pissed. And I called
38 days and
management.
they were to blame. You would think there'd be some guy going to the ones you're keeping an eye on, the ones that are getting real edgy. I'm going to go help that guy right now before he freaks out and makes the rest of these people edgy. You'd think there'd be a fireman or whatever you want to call him.
No, because if you lose your temper, you say, sir, you need to leave. If it goes viral, everyone sees you handling it calmly and ignore the fact that you made people stand around for 2 fucking hours for no reason.
I tell you what, the best firearm purchase I ever had, the smoothest everything on a big box store, and of course the big box store is closed now, but Gander Mountain.
Going out of business sale.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even that. I went over
Black
when they had
19.
the Gander Mountain Gun World over there by Rivertown.
Yep.
I went in there, I got my carry gun in there. And there's a counter of people, and people are looking around. And guys like, can I help you? I'm like, yep, I want that one right there. Well, you want to Nope. I just want that one. Grab that one.
I think that's
Start
what
filling out the
Bella's
paperwork.
gets-
He's like, oh, well, you got this? I'm like, here's my CPL. And that was when CPL actually meant something.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's like, oh, you're making this real easy. Type that in there. Sign here. Walk out. Took approximately 12 minutes to purchase that firearm. It was like freaking awesome. The other one, I
I
got
think Cabela's is busy because everybody wants to finger the guns. You know what I
See,
mean?
that's the issue with Cabela's. There should be a line that's for I'm going
Know
to
what you
purchase
want.
I'm going to purchase a gun. I know what I want. I'm here to pick up what I've already bought.
There should be a pickup line.
And there
Express.
should be the I want to fondle something. So you have to have the gun counter combined with the optics counter. So you got 3-4 guys working the entire area. You're in line. You're here to pick something up that you've already bought, and all of a sudden,
You're waiting behind some chump that wants to try out 50 different handguns.
yeah, I wanted.
To find the one that massages my hand just right.
And by the way, he's not
That'll
going to
never actually fire the thing.
He's also not there to buy it right now. He's just finding out what he likes to buy it somewhere else at a cheaper price.
Which you should do anyways.
Yeah.
Well, in Cabela's case, I encourage the hell out of that. I'm
They are
sorry, but all my
massively
buddies, even Nick, had the same trouble. So all you guys have had the same fucking problem with that place.
They're
It's
massively overpriced.
massively overpopulated with
I bought my Hellcat.
fondlers.
I bought my Hellcat at at Cabela's. But I walked in there, and the guy's like, you want to look at something? No. But you can grab that right there, put it in the case, walk it out. Here, let's do the paperwork so I can leave. He's like, you want that one? Yeah, I just said it. You don't want to
today,
try
Jimmy.
it or anything? Nope. I've already tried it at 3 other stores when I was looking at other guns. I want that one. Just grab that one out of the case, put it in the freaking case, do the paperwork. Let's get the hell out of here.
How he didn't go, hallelujah. Here.
Well, okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've always gone through Smiley's. He usually comes in under MSRP.
He's expensive for the transfer, though.
He is. But for a straight purchase, he usually comes in under MSRP.
See, when I was looking at my
That's better than
Hellcat,
Cabela's is going to get you.
I looked at a few different places for my Hellcat. And I almost went with Dunham's on it because they were fairly good price.
Why didn't you go to Dick's?
Shut up. Don't even mention that dick.
Staples has Staples trigger.
Exactly. Well, when I went to Cabela's, they had one with the red dot sight on it.
Yep.
And I'm like, yep, versus having to buy a red dot sight separately at Dunham's. I'm going to buy it here. It's like $10 more than if I'd have bought
optic
it
plate and
and
Yeah.
bought it. But I have purchased another gun at Dunham's, and this was years ago, and that was a pretty good experience. I don't have a problem purchasing a gun at Dunham's.
nope.
The other one that I had no problem with was MC Sports. I bought a shotgun there, and that was honestly about 15 minutes, start to finish. I want that shotgun there. Handed them all my paperwork. They filled it out. I walked out the door.
I feel like it's going to take you a little longer now.
Well, okay, so
Well, the last times that I've
Yeah.
purchased them, fuck, it's been a 3-hour ordeal or 38 freaking days.
So when I wanted to put a scope on my 30-aught, I went to Sportsman Warehouse. I found a scope that I liked, that I was willing to pay for, and I got rings that would work with the scope and should work with my rifle. It should, because it's bolt action. Gets kind of finicky. Took it home. The rings didn't work. They were too far apart for the scope. But I took the rings, the scope, and the rifle into the store the next day and took it all to the counter, and they found the rings that would fit. I ended up having to get a rail for the top,
Like a cantilever rail or?
like a Picatinny rail
Okay.
Yep.
for the top, and then rings that mount to the rail. I was able to mount the scope that way. But there wasn't much of a wait for it. I just walked right up. That being said, it's a lot slower than Cabela's. But walk right up to the counter, say, here's the rifle. This is the issue with the rings I bought just yesterday. Here's a receipt, prove I bought it. And they went through and they figured out what parts I need to make everything work.
Do you think the fact that you walked in there with a gun helped expedite that?
No, they did the
Get him the
safety.
fuck out of here.
They did the safety check and everything.
Oh, yeah, and they probably put a cable through the freaking chamber, didn't they?
I'm sure.
No,
No?
they didn't.
Oh. A lot of the time I've seen them put a cable.
I mean, they
or a
don't-
cable lock through the chamber.
Those big brothers watching, they got policy.
For
they
a
gotta
bolt
follow.
action, they don't want the bolt in the rifle, so I just put it in my pocket.
There you go.
But, go up, they made sure everything would fit. Then I made sure everything would fit with the bolt and then put it back in my pocket so no one freaks out. But they want it to be covered in a shitty bag while it goes through the store, in a gun store,
Yeah, right.
and in the parking lot.
To
of a
scare
gun store.
less people because it's probably big, black, and scary.
No, it's got wood grain. That means it's not an assault rifle.
Oh, okay.
It's safe.
Hell of a bat,
It's
though.
a hunting rifle because it's got wood. So if I get a wood stock and a wood foregrip for my AR, it's a hunting rifle, not an assault rifle.
You know?
That's cool. It doesn't
That's
hold
a good
30 rounds.
idea for
I got a
one
100
that
round
you
mag.
have.
You're
Wait a
good.
second. Most AK, there's hunting rifles in.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. They're not big and black and scary.
Wonderful.
They're hunting rifles.
You know those
I got a
Picatinny
hunting pistol
pads
in
that
my
you have?
safe.
Them quad rail pads that you have on that one gun of yours?
Yep.
Should get those in wood grain.
There you go.
Actually, we know a place where you can get some wood veneers for real cheap.
Yeah.
Put some nice wood veneers on there. Ooh.
You can probably just spray paint it tan. Some of these people won't know the difference.
Well, there's that too.
Well, are you saying a lot of people nowadays need to touch a tree or dirt?
Oh, I think
A lot of them should
I
be
didn't add
planted in the
anything to
dirt.
the notes as far as what I usually put in here. There is a okay, so not to get off the topic because I think we're going to hit on it next segment. There's a new trend on Instagram or wherever. Have you seen the women breastfeeding dolls
Yep.
to get away with? As long as they're
Showing
breastfeeding,
nipple?
they can show nipple.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, thank God this is
So-
working.
So I saw a thing where some lady was saying to get around the sensors and showing that it's cold outside in something skimpy. That's been getting taken down, but there's a special bra you can get that has two pointy bits built into it, and that's acceptable.
Wasn't that a Kardashian came out with that?
I,
think
I
so.
don't know the Kardashians. I don't keep track of that tie.
Yeah.
But just seeing some of the stuff that people are using to get around internet censors. And then today I saw a video from some goth chick who drives a Lincoln Hearse, was saying people kept asking her for an OnlyFans link. They wanted her OnlyFans. And, okay, I kind of want to see too. However, she thought it would be funny. She put one up for the hearse, and she made it clear that this is for the hearse itself. And Instagram took it down because they couldn't tell the difference between an OnlyFans for a person and a car.
Jesus. Amy wrote all that shit out. She did a great job, didn't she? There's some good questions in there.
Yeah.
I told you, I said, man, she knocked it out of the park. She was over 4 pages of handwritten shit, and these ones here, she printed out.
Jeez.
Anyway, yeah. So she goes, I got some questions for you guys, and I'm like, okay, let's hear it. She goes, no, I got some questions.
Well,
I'm like,
hold
oh
on.
shit.
Hold on. Start at 1.
Where are we at in time?
46.
Okay, we do,
Well,
let's
do-
do a couple.
Well,
Say that's gonna be
Survival's gonna take-
Well, we're not doing all of it tonight.
Survival's going to take more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Let's do a handful of questions.
Didn't you have another review thing you wanted to do? Jesus fucking Christ.
I
Over
don't know
there.
what to fucking do about that shit right there.
Yeah.
You have the look on your face like a kid shitting their pants. Just focusing.
I'm still shitting my pants.
He's worried about the itch later.
No,
You're not
it's
worried
late in the
about
night.
the
I'll be
itch?
all right. I'll sleep through that.
Okay, well.
There's a hot tub over there open next door.
I wanted to hit that today, last night and today, but I never did.
Okay, let's just make this a review segment.
The 15-minute review, or are we gonna
Well,
do longer?
The
We got a lot of stuff.
whole thing's been a review.
Well, if we had a lot of stuff to review, I thought there was only the one thing you wanted to review besides the pizza. Let's do something else. Let's freaking ask a question. Which question you want?
Start at the top.
Pick
'Cause
one.
otherwise, we're never gonna. And
Okay.
check mark next to them.
Question 1. What is the most difficult, joyful part of being or about being a parent?
I'm out.
Moody, you can't answer. Well, you could because you got your dogs and your fur babies.
Oh, thought you were gonna say the sock.
I'm not gonna necessarily because I don't see you in. Yeah, I don't see you using the sock for the same thing you'd use your kids for. I mean, just saying, but maybe. Never mind. Anyway, Ty, what is the most difficult or joyful part about being a parent?
The most joyful part is when they become more independent and they learn something on their own, or you realize that they learned something. The most difficult is when they're going through a hard time. Whether you can help them or not, if they're going through something or they're going through a hard time or they're getting frustrated with something, that's hard to watch or hard to be part of. Mm-hmm. So there's my answers.
How about you, Professor?
Watching them make poor choices and trying to steer them. That's a hard one.
Helping them dig themselves out of a bad choice
Yep.
or a bad situation. Mine is seeing them in pain. My children have been through injuries or difficulties medical wise.
Or
You know, seeing my own children's blood is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've been lucky there.
A few years ago, right before we went on our family vacation, we're at my in-laws, just a family get-together cookout, and the kids are out in the back, supervised with an adult, shooting BB guns. And all of a sudden, I hear my son
There's a drink.
bawling his eyes out. Well, not knowing what happened, I know they're out playing with BB guns and pellet rifles. He's coming up, just blood spewing out of his chin. Okay, what's going on? Well, he tried to cock one of those pellet rifles that you have to break in half.
Yeah.
Well, he slipped and it caught him in the chin.
You thought
Like-
he read some ricochet or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now I get to come down from my anxiety. Like, okay, now it's time to
Triage.
but slow the situation down because he was fine until he saw his blood, and then it was 0 to 100. So
And not necessarily even the blood aspect of it, but my oldest had surgery when he had multiple surgeries throughout his childhood. And at 2.5 years old, he was in the recovery room, got transferred to a regular hospital room. Well, I stepped out to use the restroom. When I come back in, he had coded.
Oh.
That was a
Wow.
eye-opening moment. But that is probably my hardest part. The joyful part, seeing him succeed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Seeing my son get a job, seeing my daughter do well, seeing my stepdaughter do well. I mean, my stepdaughter's 19 years old and has a mortgage and owns her own house.
Good for her.
My son, that they said would probably never be able to drive, drives a car great, probably never be able to hold a job. He's held multiple jobs.
How's he doing at the? Is he still at the tire one? The wheel one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway,
Well, okay.
my dog
I
catches
don't
balls.
have actual kids, but I got fur babies. Worst part is when they wake me up at 5 in the fucking morning on a Saturday.
I thought you were going to say when they freaking jump on your nuts.
Oh, they do that too. That's pretty bad. Luckily, I know how to turn away from them so they don't do that. But yeah, 5 in the morning, they're nagging me. Hey, wake up. It's time to wake up. I want to sleep in at least one day this week.
I'm surprised at how well our dogs understand English because Gavin goes, "Go get mom up." Whoop! They went in there, pushed the door open, and jumped up on her. And yeah, I'm like, oh no, this is not going to end well.
I did tell my son on his 13th birthday I'm kicking him in his nuts. For all of the times that I have been headbutted, kicked, smacked. You're getting kicked in your nuts on your 13th
Can you
birthday.
record that?
I never had any of that bullshit. I mean, I've been kicked in the nuts or whatever.
Dude.
You're hanging on to him up here.
Let's
and
go
then we
downstairs and we'll all take our turns.
No, I'm good.
We would be
walking
glad to show you what it feels like.
I was walking through Costco one time with him in the basket,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden just ding.
Oh,
Hey,
You
mister, are you okay? Yeah, I'll be right there.
Just a second.
You start pushing the cart at full arm extension.
Yeah. Dude, you're going to ride in the basket. I'm putting the groceries up here.
Probably the best part is it's nice to have someone actually happy to see me when I get home.
I'm sure your couch is happy to see you.
I don't actually sit on the couch that much because then the dogs get in my face.
His desk chair is really scared of him, though.
I was going to say, the bottom of the desk is really scared of him.
No, it's a custom-made desk. It's used to it.
Not another lotion bath.
Oh, God.
Perverts around here.
Okay, next question. I got to mark that one off the
Just
list.
check. I mean, we're going to keep this list for probably a long time.
What was your first car?
First one I owned was a Ford fucking Ranger with the 4-liter V6.
2001?
I ain't no
Or
snake.
1999.
99.
That was like
That's
the good
what-
ones.
I'll beat that. 88 Camaro with a 2.8 liter.
That one.
200 R4 automatic, or did it have a stick in it?
Yeah, it was automatic.
Yeah, it's 200 R4.
I smoked those wheels one time on a snowy hill.
Sounds about right for a 2.8.
Tell you what, that Ranger, I smoked the tires every time there was more than a dusting of snow.
See all that tire smoke? That's your exhaust.
It had an exhaust leak. So the flex point under the truck, where the two are supposed to wiggle around, the joint there broke. So I used to zip tie it together with stainless steel zip ties, and that would break after a couple weeks. And I'd crawl under and I'd fix it, just so it would be somewhat quiet. God, I missed that truck. That was a lot of fun.
I had a blown up S10 the old man bought me for like $200, and we never did fix it. And then I had a Cutlass that I bought,
What year Cutlass?
like an 86, 84,
Okay,
86.
so it was still a square body style Cutlass,
Yep.
not the
I had a Euro,
not the front wheel drive.
I had a Euro style too, but that was later on. I had 3 or 4 Cutlasses, 3 or 4 Camaros, all my Camaros were the 3rd gen F bodies like Moody's.
Well, we're talking about first car.
Yeah, so I mean, it was Cutlass. Called a Cutlass. It was a POS.
First vehicle I ever bought. You would remember this one from high school. It was a green,
Of course.
and a forest green 75 Dodge D100.
Flatbed.
Yep, with a 3 on the tree and a 318.
I do remember that.
That was the
I don't
first.
remember you driving. I remember Scotty driving.
I got it from Scott after he was done with it. Had broken frame.
Yeah.
That was the first truck I ever bought. Never was able to drive it on the road. Ended up, I stripped it out. I was going to make it a 4-wheel drive and lost interest. So the first vehicle I ever drove on the road was a 86 F-150. Cab and a half, long box, 2-wheel drive, 306, 4-speed stick. And I still own it. It sits in my backyard.
Hey,
course
you
it
still
is.
on over there?
Yeah, still
shit,
churning
dude.
away.
Kill it. It's fucking hot back here. It's
I
hot
just turned
right
the fan
here.
That's syphilis. God damn, dude.
That wasn't nothing. That wasn't nothing.
Anyway, so that was first car.
Yeah. First cars.
Okay.
Gotta miss that Ranger. It's a lot of fun.
Ah, dude, I bet that was.
What is the worst thing you've ever told your parents?
Moody. That I rollerblade. Man.
I want to ride a motorcycle. The way my dad acted, I want to ride a motorcycle was the worst thing you could have told him.
Mm-hmm. You go, because I don't even remember, dude.
No. I got nothing.
I mean, there's lots of stuff, but like the worst. I mean, even today I can tell him stuff that I wouldn't have told him back then. Like when I used to push my IROC out of his garage and out into the road and then push it down the road and get down to the church and then go take off for the night. But that wasn't like bad. I don't know. Other people told him stuff that really pissed him off about me.
Oh, I was a shitty teenager.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told my parents multiple times I hated them.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I did. Told my dad one time, the hell with you.
There's lots of things that I wish I would have told my mom. So,
But those are probably the worst.
nothing?
Nothing. I didn't do much. I was lame.
R.
As I said, I was an asshole teenager. I admit it.
Oh, it's not
No.
just teenagers.
Now I try to freaking make it up by doing more or less being at their beck and call. They call and need something. They call and ask something.
I'll tell you what, if they ever need another roof, I'm going to talk you out of it.
If they ever need another roof, they're going to a fucking old folks home. That's their new roof.
Dude.
Because I'm done with
that
roofs
thing.
on that fucking house.
They got an
Sorry.
old A-frame.
Ooh.
Oof. Dude. Fuck
Me,
that.
me and my brother did put steel on their roof back here Mother's Day last year. Me and my brother 2 days. Put steel on that roof. And it's a 12-12 pitch. The peak is 34 feet off the ground.
Oh, God.
I'm out.
And me and my brother did that. I was laid up for 2 days afterwards. I couldn't fucking move.
Dude, I was there for like 10 minutes, and I was laid up for 2 days.
It was... But, again, I've done enough shit to my parents to where I had to do it. And I did it.
Moo?
No, pretty decent kid. Well, we lived in the countryside, so it's not like I could go too far.
Well, it didn't stop me. I lived way out in the boonies.
I mean, before I could drive.
Oh. That didn't stop me. I've stole some cars. I've done...
Yeah, but my parents didn't really have the keys out and about.
Yeah, that's going to bite him in the ass at some point. All right, what else you got?
Here's a little bit more up and up question, a little bit
Okay.
less
Less
Debbie Downer. What's the first concert you went to?
I seem to remember a Bryan Adams concert when I was a kid in Kentucky. As
Okay.
an adult, ooh, God,
Leaf Garrett.
maybe Disturbed. I don't remember.
Well, you went to Joel.
Billy Joel. That
yeah.
was recently.
Yeah. My first concert was Bob Seger. I don't remember it. Tina told me that once.
My first one, I'm not a crowds person, so I don't do concerts. So my wife and I went down to Chicago to this girl that was kind of up and coming on the internet.
Taylor Swift.
Nope. And then the biggest one was a few years ago was Granger Smith in Grand Rapids.
Good one.
He was no longer a music artist.
No, well, he's still relevant.
He does a morning show.
He could. It must be a family thing for him.
We had a tragedy in 2019, and they went really religious, and now he wants to actually preach more. So
Yeah, I didn't know he had a disastrous situation, but
his son died.
oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
My first concert I went to was Brooks and Dunn down here at the Ionia Free Fair. 96.
Man,
That was my first concert.
I think mine was down there. I think that was when Bob Seger came down.
Okay, now
Maybe
there's a
maybe
second
that-
part to this question. What's the last concert you went to?
Billy Joel. In Houston.
Yeah, he
So
Oh, I know.
took a trip.
I wanted to go see Billy Joel in concert before he retires because he's,
I don't blame you.
he's
That's fucking
77
great.
years old.
He's great.
And the options were Pittsburgh, pass,
Fuck that.
Nope, fuck that.
Houston, or Madison Square Gardens in New York City. Well, I can't afford to even look at New York City on a map, so Houston it is.
Right.
Well, you don't need
His
to
daughter's
afford. They got
doing-
they got a $355 million freaking bonus last week, 2 weeks ago.
No, they're spending all that straight on immigrants.
Yeah.
Billy Joel's daughter's making music now. I see on something. Anyway,
But Billy
I'll
Joel
ask.
concert, so I went with the ex. And she was complaining because between songs, he would tell little stories.
So
And she wanted more straight music, less talky. But then before long, when he started sprinkling in the Rolling Stones into the middle of one of the songs, then all of a sudden she's okay with it.
mine was probably Blackstone Cherry in Grand Rapids. That's my jam.
Granger Smith.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Damn.
I had tickets for 2020's Foo Fighters show, their 20th anniversary coming to Grand Rapids, and they fucking canceled because of COVID.
2020.
Bingo.
My family's. I grew up with doing production side of stuff for
Yeah.
sound, and I mean it was always everything that came to the fair. I was at backstage already, just running around. So as far as going to concerts, it's not my. I think it just like even my sister said, it just wears you out. Like yeah, I don't get starstruck or anything. It's just
I don't know. That Volbeat concert was pretty good.
that was a good concert. I didn't give a shit about Ghost.
That's why we all skipped out early. Thank God they did it in that order.
There was a whole bunch of crazy, fucking like people wearing weird outfits and stuff just there to see Ghost. They didn't care about Volbeat, and I'm like, man, Volbeat, and they jammed.
Which is
Man,
weird
they're loud.
because we were there to see Volbeat and we didn't care about Ghost.
Yeah, we didn't have the crazy hair or the freaking trench coats or the fucking
Yeah, as soon
studded
as
everything.
Ghost started, we're like, well, I think that's the end of the night, right?
You remember the opening band? Greg was not impressed with that opening band because it was
Twin Temple.
yeah, something like that.
I
Temple.
think it was.
I thought they
Temple.
were cool. They were never going to go anywhere because they sat there worshiping the devil the whole time. So I'm like, oh, they're not ever going to go anywhere, but it's kind of neat. They were a decent band. It was all a show, not.
last concert I went to was 2002 Alabama.
Here?
No, Allegan County Fairgrounds.
Because I don't think it was here.
No, Allegan County Fairgrounds, 2002.
Okay. Alabama, man, they've been around forever. They love Michigan because for a band that named after a whole other state, they spent a lot of time in Michigan.
Last one I wanted to go to that I never got a chance to, just because I was at a low point in my life with funds and everything. I wanted to see AC/DC at Van Andel. I never got a chance to.
Some that stand out, I seen Ozzy with Rob Zombie at Van Andel.
Nice.
Oh, that'd have been badass.
That was, and Ozzy was supposed to be the headliner, but by the time Rob Zombie was done, he basically blew Ozzy out of the water. His show with his great big monsters on stage running around and shit. It's like, holy cow.
Hour 5. It was Twin Temple, all one word. But yeah, they had a song like "Let's Have a Satanic Orgy." Kind
It was a weird, yeah. It was, and they were drinking blood and shit on stage, and it was pretty out there.
They didn't go very far.
Going for that niche audience.
Yeah, they did, and
But
they went first, and then Volbeat, and then Ghost. So the Twin Temple and Ghost were probably what a lot of people came to see.
they were the bread in a really good sandwich. Like, throw the bread away and eat the good part.
Mm-hmm.
It's about an hour 5.
Send it.
Here's to those that wish us well.
All the rest can go to hell.
All right.